working in X-ray, thinking about MRI, CT, or something else, and wondering what's the best path for me? Online, everyone is saying, go to MRI. Big money, easy hours, right? But here's the truth. The best radiologic technology career isn't the one that's trending, it's the one that fits you. I remember sitting in my car just like this, wondering if I had missed my moment. I was registered as a radiology technologist. I was working in CT, doing PRN. I had a good couple full time jobs, and I had done some travel work as a CT technologist, but something felt off. I kept hearing everyone saying, you should go over to MRI. MRI is where it's at. You should get another modality. You're missing out. And I kept seeing everyone advancing into other modalities. And I was like, have I missed it? Should I do something else, y'all? I mean, I just heard it was the answer. So I chased it. First, I chased nuclear medicine, and I've got a story for that. Unfortunately, I did not get into nuclear. I did not get to start my nuclear medicine program because, unfortunately, on the first day of school, my father had a massive heart attack. And that caused me to have to remove myself from the program. I never was in a position to go back to school for nuclear medicine. So I said, hey, this is the time for MRI. I cross trained into MRI and I love it. I have no regrets that I did not get to go into nuclear medicine. But one thing I know is that chasing other people's dreams and what the algorithm tells you is not always what's best for you. I realized that I love parts of MRI. I really do. I would not trade it at all. But I like the fast pace of CT. But I'm going to tell you why I changed from CT and felt like I just had to make this move because everybody else was doing it. Everybody else was doing it. Hello, thank you guys. Everyone else was doing it. I hope this is helpful because I don't regret my decision, but I will say that it's not always the best decision to make when you are following other people or the algorithm just keeps throwing all this MRI, MRI, MRI up to you. What you want to do is say, and this is what I learned. It wasn't about finding the best modality. It was about finding the one that matched my life. I hope that makes sense. So here are three truths when you all are picking what modality, if you want to go to another modality. There's nothing wrong with staying as a diagnostic technologist. There are technologists that are in diagnostic radiology that are making just as much as MRI and CT technologists. I'm telling you, there are. Number one, pick your life, not your paycheck. I know social media tells you MRI techs make all of this money. And I'm not taking anything away. Did I get a pay increase when I went to MRI? Yes. But have I made just as much money, if not more, doing CT? Yes. Yes. And yes. I've never done X-ray out of school, so I cannot say that. I was a student tech, but I wouldn't really count that. And that's what I tell you. Money matters, of course, because we got bills to pay, but you're not sacrificing your sanity, y'all. Don't sacrifice your sanity. MRI can be amazing, do not get me wrong, but it is very different. The learning aspect is different. The technologists that work in MRI are totally different personality wise. The patients are totally different. Everything about it does not match what we went to school for in because it doesn't use ionizing radiation. So those principles can be really, really difficult for some people in addition to the things I just mentioned. But as the long scan time, sometimes if you know you cannot sit for a long time, MRI may not be it for you. If you are an up and down kind of person, patient anxiety is like a normal thing. And you cannot write down patient anxious, patient claustrophobic for every scan. You will not have a job for long because they'll figure out what you're doing. Tight scheduling. Tight scheduling is normal. Oh my goodness. We had two scans today that were like put in a small slot and they're like hour scans. So You got to catch those things. And sometimes there's nothing you can do about them. CT can be quick, but it can be very technical. Don't let CT fool you. It's very high paced, but it can also be very technical. It's fast paced, high volume. I remember working at a big hospital, and I easily by myself, and there were like three other techs in my department who had their own scanner. Plus, there was a nurse, sometimes two nurses that put the IVs in for us. And then there was another tech that just answered the phones and arranged everything. Like, we did not touch the phone when you were scanning. You had a tech that did that. And I would sometimes do 50 to 60 patients in a day in a 12-hour period, which is not unheard of in CT for one technologist, y'all. Depending on what exams you're doing, you could do some exams in 1 minute in CT. Mammo may offer flexibility and connection, but is very emotionally heavy some days. Radiation therapy, the same. I know people who've gone into radiation therapy and they've come right back out. They were like, that is not for me. You got to know. Ask yourself, what kind of days do I want to have? Do I want slow days? Do I want fast days? Some days I want slow days, and I love doing MRI on those days. And I mean slow where I'm not up and down, up and down, up and down. CT, sometimes I want to move and groove. CT allows me to do that. Whatever my personality that day might be, CT can fit it. Being multimodality allows me to say, hey, today I feel like moving and grooving, moving around, but tomorrow I don't. I'm a little tired. I feel like kind of sitting, and my feet hurt. Number two, let your strengths lead you when choosing a modality. If you're calm and chaos, trauma imaging may not fit. It may not fit you. If you love teaching, coaching, think education, applications, leadership. If you are detail oriented or techie, informatics, PACS, that's probably in your lane. You already have clues about what lights you up. Trust them. Do not let other people on social media influence you to a profession that you're going to spend a lot of time and money on. And just getting those credentials is not an accomplishment. Anybody can pay for letters behind their name. Just let me say that. Just because you have a lot of letters behind your name, the one thing that sets you apart is that you actually know how to do them. I'm going to say that. Say that again. Just because someone has credentials behind their names does not mean they know what they're doing. MRI takes at least 5 years for you to truly understand and safely do it. I'm so glad this is refreshing for you to hear. CT has advanced, y'all. It is really advanced, and the machines have advanced a lot too. But CT takes a couple years for you to truly understand, like biopsies. Just because you can scan CT don't mean you're good at doing biopsies. And every machine in CT is different. Number three, pivoting isn't a problem. It's a power move. I have people tell me, wow, your resume has a lot of different jobs on it. I like to pivot. Don't hate me. Hate to play it. Don't hate to play it. Hate the game. Is that what they say? That is not what I plan to say. So excuse me. I have random thoughts, y'all, sometimes. Hence why I have a podcast. Anyway, I was silly. I'm sitting out here in the sun. I just got home from work. Then I went and got my Invisalign. I don't have a man, but I just finished eating a cookie. So I decided to record this after my Invisalign. So I got 6 more trays. My teeth are almost straight. Do something for yourself that you've always wanted to do, y'all. I'm telling you, that's just my advice there. But lastly, pivoting isn't a problem. It's a power move. Do not let people make you think that, oh, you're going to leave this good job. I had people tell me that I left a really good job. I'm not going to lie. It was a good job. People like, even the doctors that I was leaving, they were like, you'll be back. I never went back, and it wasn't to spite them. It's just, I never needed to go back. I never needed to go back. I passed that job on to one of my friends that's still there, and she thanks me every day for passing that job. And those doctors thank me for referring someone that was even better than me. And she's been there for over 20 years. And, to me, that's what pivoting is. Whenever you pivot in a way that does not, if you can. Sometimes, I've left a job before that I was like, I don't care if y'all never hire me back. I will not be back. I will go drive trucks with my CDO that I still have before I come back to this place. But when you pivot, make sure you try to leave it in a peaceful way, a way that you can always come back. They don't have a hard time calling you and saying, hey, can you come back? If you feel lost, it's not a sign you failed. It's a sign you're growing. And some of the most successful technologists I know and therapists started in one area, pivoted, and then pivoted again. How do you think people get to leadership positions? How do you think people get to be able to do other modalities? They pivot. You cannot stay in the same place and in the same job and actually grow. It just, most facilities and organizations just are not set up like that. If you find one that encourages you to pivot and grow within the facility, the organization, stick with them, grow. That's a gem. But a lot of companies, unfortunately, are not like that. They do not encourage or even know how to help internal employees to pivot. I remember a place I worked at for a very long time. I wanted to move into MRI. They just, you're great here in CT. You're great. Why do you want to leave? Why wouldn't I want to leave? Like, what kind of question is that? And you know what that said to me? They want to keep me stuck because they've never done anything. And sometimes that's the case, y'all. And that is why I encourage you from this video not to go with the trendy things when you're trying to choose a modality, a path in medical imaging. Don't choose other people's path and don't let them choose it for you. I had great jobs in CT. I would have been just fine if I stayed in CT. I'd probably still be with those same doctors that took good care of me. They paid me very well. Anything I wanted, I got. And for me to leave that job took a lot of strength. I'm not gonna lie to you. It took a lot of strength. I tried to leave it 2 times. They kept upping my pay, giving me bonuses, changing my schedule, whatever you want. And finally, I got the courage not to accept their final offer. And they had the utmost respect for me. But they left the door. You ever need to come back, you come back. We'll make your job. And I truly believe that. But I found them someone where I didn't need to come back. And it would be hard for them to make room for me if I tried to come back. Because I needed that. I needed to step out. And I've been able to do so many things beyond just the social media and the podcast. And that's why I encourage you all. I love social media, but I also want you to beware that as much as I love MRI, it is not the only modality out there. And it is not for everyone. That's what I'm going to say. It's not for everyone. It is very different. The personalities in MRI are different, just like every other modality. Make sure before you invest in a program, because some of these MRI programs cost a lot of money. I see how much they cost. And when you're desperate to make a change, you do make choices that sometimes you just got to live with. And to me, having a medical imaging degree, you don't have to make decisions that you just got to live with. You didn't get out of school and go just get a corporate job and I've always done this and this is all I know how to do. No, you have medical imaging. And if you started as a radiologic technologist, you have options to further your modality, your education into other areas. I've been in this field for over 20 years and I've worked in a lot of modalities and a lot of areas in this profession. I pivoted several times, not just in modalities. And what I've learned is you don't need to chase the perfect career, just the one that makes sense for you and what's right for you. It's okay to want more. Don't let people talk you into, girl, you gonna leave this good job, or man, how you gonna take care of your family, or why would you leave this great schedule? Maybe it's good for them. It might not fit you right now. Like for me, I personally don't want to work 312s. Well, if you pay me right, I might. But there are factors that play into, you know, what it is that works for you. Like for me, when my dad got sick and was very, very sick towards the end of his life, and then once he passed away, I didn't want to travel anymore that much. I didn't want to be all over the city working. I needed a little stability. So I got a 312 job, consistent every week. I knew where I was going to be in case doctor's appointments, in case I needed to go to the hospital, spend a little time. I had 4 days off to be at the hospital, give my family a little break. But now I don't have that. When my sister adopted her daughters, as a family, we pitched in, which meant I got a PRN job a little closer to home than the one that I had that was 50 miles away, which paid me really well. So I found something closer because I had to pick them up from school because my sisters worked a shift where she worked out of town. So I had to pick the girls up from school because my mom still worked at the time. My husband worked. I was only with a flexible schedule. So I had to make a change and find a job that was closer. And when I got off, and that was friendly to when kids get sick, I was the one that had to go pick them up. So those are things that you have to choose based on what works for you. It's okay to want more. It's okay to want to be different. Early on in my career, I was very different, very different. I remember quitting that job and just doing PRN and travel. And people were like, "Girl, you're not gonna have enough hours." Y'all, my calendar was packed for 3 months out, and that's only because I did 3 months out. You're not alone in that. It's okay. So if this helped you feel seen, gave you clarity, be sure to subscribe to a couple of Rad Techs. Check out the podcast as well, a couple of Rad Techs. Make sure you follow me on all my socials and leave a comment. I love to get feedback and know where you are in your journey, how I can make better content for you all. And if you're ready to figure out your next step, my latest podcast, it went live last week. Some of the comments are out of this world how encouraging it was. I want you to go take a listen. It was the latest podcast. You can check it out on Apple, Spotify, and right here on YouTube. Thank you guys for your comments, for your support, and I wish you all the best. I'm going to go now. Make sure you check out any of these other videos and let me know in the comments what you think.